What's a first world problem that's a third world luxury? Having to Tetris the fridge because you ordered too much food and the fridge is full of leftovers, which you probably end up throwing away a few days later as it gone bad or doesn't taste good anymore. Start eating the same thing 2 days in a row. Just spoon half your meal into a container before even serving yourself. Then, they aren't leftovers, they are tomorrow's planned dinner. If it doesn't taste good, you need to up your reheating game. So many people just throw whatever onto a plate in the microwave, and if that doesn't work, consider it bad leftovers. It's sad. Some of my favorite tips, hamburgers and many other meats, can be done quickly and decently in the microwave, but wrap them in a soaked napkin or paper towel first. They stay way more moist. Barring that, wrap in foil with a splash of water or broth and put in the oven. Mashed potatoes, reheat on the stove with a splash of half and half to rejuvenate them. Most fried foods spring back up nicely with a quick refrying, or if you don't want to do that, high temperatures in an oven for a few minutes. Convection is best if you have it available. Even French fries, which get nasty and mealy when old, can be reheated this way. Breads take on a new when toasted. This even goes for things like day-old biscuits. Cut it in half and give it a good toast on the internal sides and you're primed for another great sandwich. I was born in Eritrea, country on the Horn of Africa, and when I was a kid I would alternate between living with my grandparents and my mother. My father moved to the US on a student visa shortly after I was born. My mother was a teacher and the government would send her to 2 indigenous villages that had absolutely no running water, electricity or anything of that sort, so we would piss and SHT outdoors and you'd have to find either leaves or a smooth rock to wipe your ass with. On the flip side, my grandparents lived in the capital city where they had indoor plumbing, but the toilet was a hole you would have to squat over and then manually dump a bucket of water to flush your SHT, and afterwards you would wipe your ass with an old newspaper, and at the time I thought this was the epitome of high-class living. After my father finished school and got his citizenship, he was able to bring me to the States when I was 9 years old, 2003. Since then I became Americanized as duck, and if I ever go to your house and I see single-ply toilet paper I will judge the fuck out of you. Lol, crazy how our point of view can change so drastically. It's easier to get used to benefits than poverty. Let me get a pen real quick. Okay, easier. Things are easier, got it. When there are so many things to eat you can't decide what you want. That is third world living like a king. Not enough space to keep all the clothing. Edit, sorry, I was wrong. The third world countries experience the same problems. Folding laundry takes too long because too many clothes. Oh crap, I left mine in the dryer. I left mine in the washer too long, and my water just got turned off so I can't rewash the load, so it smells weird. Frown. When the water is restored, rewash with your normal laundry detergent and add 14-cup white vinegar to the wash. When it's done, get it in the dryer immediately to avoid mildewing your clothes again. Alt, do all that in a laundromat. Edit, when adding vinegar, you want to wait until the tub is full of water, before you close the lid. Pouring vinegar directly on your clothes can leave them smelling like vinegar. Baking soda may also do the trick. I've never used it so I can't really comment. Important not to combine the two unless you're trying to do an impromptu science experiment demonstration. Edit 2, baking soda and vinegar combined, in small amounts, can be useful for deodorizing a funky machine. Start an empty load, medium setting, I think? Been a while since I did this, and add about half a cup of baking soda to the water. Once it dissolves, add about 1.5 to 2 cups of white vinegar, and close the lid to continue the wash cycle. The reaction between the baking soda and vinegar will help to get the gases and acids formed from the reaction into the annoying crevasses in the machine that hide mold and mildew and lead to your machine smelling increasingly funky. When it's all done, your machine should smell like nothing at all. This can also work for deodorizing your garbage disposal, but in much smaller quantities. I read that as get in the dryer, and wasn't sure what that was going to accomplish. Get in the dryer, Shinji. Water gets too cold. Can also get too hot. Too hot? Too cold? Jail, straight away. No trial, no nothing. Undercooked chicken? Here's one that blew my mind: imperfect vegetables. Imagine a grocery discarding a pepper for having too many bumps or a banana for having too many brown spots. Meanwhile, here I am with my crinkly green peppers and bananas that are 40% brown patch. But our avocados are like 20 cents us. Hey, good thing is that here in France, this is changing. They are starting to sell ugly vegetables in supermarkets much cheaper than the good ones. I tried, so for 0.75 I got 4 ugly peppers, ugly beans and an ugly onion, ha ha ha. Well, they were as good as the others. I would have paid 5 at least for a perfect version of them. They taste all good and become all ugly in my stomach. So well. Hopefully this will become more and more the norm. We have this at my grocery store in Canada, but they sell them in bulk packages. Like it'll be $5 for 12 very big, weirdly colored and shaped bell peppers. How the hell am I supposed to eat 12 bell peppers before they go bad? And where can I store that? You can chop them up and freeze them. You can't eat them raw anymore, but you can still cook with them. Hey, thanks for the tip. I never tried it. Chop them up, freeze, use for stir fry or pizza later. Or grilled, stuffed with some feta and meats and a little roll. Too much food. It's what are we going to eat tonight, not are we going to eat tonight. Do you want pizza? No. Chinese? No. Salad? No. Want to go to the grocery store and get stuff no make dinner? No. Therese nothing to eat. Drops $200 at Costco ain't shit to eat for dinner. If you do it right and don't mind leftovers, Costco is amazing. My husband drops $200 at the grocery store. We have all of the precise ingredients for 4 dinners exactly. Me drops $200 at Costco. We are eating for 4 weeks. Prepare the microwave. But seriously, if you don't mind leftovers, their whole chickens are cheap and rotisserie is cheap too. Their ground turkey, if you can get it, can freeze. Mix it with Aldi produce, and if you can front the money, the meals stretch well. Garage too small for the amount of cars in the household. Or too full of excess stuff for the cars to fit at all. In 26 years of owning a car, parents' house, 2 dorms, 3 apartments and a condo, I have never once had a garage. If I ever have one, it will be clean enough to eat off the floor, and anything, or anyone, that prevents me from putting a car in it will be put immediately on the curb. Have a 2-car garage and I still can't fathom filling it with stuff. I even park on one side as if I were expecting a second car. Meanwhile, all my neighbors fit 1 car in and have tons of stuff. I think my neighbor across the street has like 10 different rakes and 20 shovels. Never seen them used all in the last 12 months. Maybe a rake or 2 during fall, but I apologize for using an ambiguous term. What I mean by stuff is when you look at a room or an area and it's not defined by a single criteria. Things that have been placed and collected over the years tend to be stuff, not your gym equipment, shop tools, lounge, what have you. It's a hodgepodge of items that collect and sit with no purpose or intention. It's just there, it's stuff. It's like Thanksgiving dinner and the garage is the turkey and the random shit in your garage is the stuffing. What is it? No one really knows or cares. Stuff may be around your couches and chairs in the garage, but you still have a functional space to lounge in. If you walk into your garage and there's a massive Borg cube of furniture with boxes on top wound so tightly together by cobwebs that a random object in the very center is under immense darkness and pressure that it may already be a diamond, you have stuff in your garage. A certain personality type likes to blame the tools for the work not getting done. The justification then is for procuring a newer, better, different sort of tool, rake, shovel, what have you, so that the work will get done this time, except it doesn't because the tool was never the problem. And the end result is far too many tools for the storage space available. Slow internet. I am from India and we are, still, considered third world, but I believe we have great prices for internet here. I pay Rs. 800, approx $11, per month for 100 MB/s up and down symmetrical speed. Unlimited too. To add to this, nobody cares if we torrent as well. I personally never use VPN unless I want to actually access a Netflix library. I'm Indian too. India is a country where you can find extremes of anything. Literal poverty contrasted by literal ducking billionaires. Internet is so fucking cheap compared to a lot of places. India is a country where you can find extremes of anything. Fellow Indian and I agree, but this is a global phenomenon. The whole third world, first world comparison is obsolete now. Classification now should be based on something more accurate. I've read about income levels and I believe that's a greater measure, but I'm not sure how the calculation works out on a large scale or if it's averaged out.